Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to open your Presidential Persuasion presentation. So I have one open here. You're going to go to File, Download as, PowerPoint. Download it to the desktop of the computer you're on. And you can just leave the name like that. I'm going to add Pete to mine so that it reminds me that Pete is the one I'm using as the example. It should download pretty quickly. Now you're going to go to the desktop and find that file. And you're going to drag it onto the LibreOffice icon on your dock. That's the square one there that everybody should have on their dock. So here is the project. So now I'm going to go to Export, and I'm going to change the file type to HTML document, and I like that fine, and I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call it and we're going to take advantage of copy and paste. I'm going to copy the name of the file, and I'm going to paste that in from my folder name. So now this file is going to be made in this folder. You make sure that's checked. Click Save. And then we're just going to click Next all the way through this. Next. Next. Here we're going to change it to JPEG in 50% quality. Leave that low resolution. We'll do text only. And so if any of these things, don't ask me any questions about any of these. If I don't change it in my directions right here, then you just leave it the same. So as we go back through, there's a bunch of different options in there. For now, we're just going to go next, 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 except for the few little changes that I mentioned. And when you get to the end, you click Create. And we're going to paste this in. Oh, new HTML design. Just call it your name. Then go to the desktop and find that folder and double click on the top file. And your web browser should open it as a web page. And Pete had this blue colored, and so it's not showing up here, but that's okay. So we're going to click Continue. There's his next slide. His next slide. On the edge here, some of the spacing may be off just a little bit. That's just little tweak settings. We won't worry so much about that. A lot of you have everything going all the way to the edge of your slides, and so some of it may be cut off. That's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. What we'll learn from this experience is in future projects, we'll want to have a little bit of a border of white space so that the stuff doesn't get cut off. There's his whole project. If we go to the overview, we actually get kind of thumbnails of the whole entire project. So we could actually, I believe it'll work. We click on that one and it takes us to that. Go back to overview. We can click on this one. We can use the back button to navigate through. So we let the software actually make the whole thing for us. And then it gives the table of contents here, and it just calls them slides 1 through 13. You can click here to start. There's ways that we can go in later to make it automatically advance, so that clicking start is like playing a slideshow that'll play on its own. And then text. This is the text that it exported. The rest of it was done as image files. So if you actually look at one of these, this is an image file. So it kind of like took a little mini screenshot of each of his slides. This is a way to keep people from plagiarizing. So if you create stuff online, you could publish it this way and people wouldn't be able to just copy and paste your stuff. But it also prevents your stuff from being indexed to show up in search engines because it can't read the text of your stuff. But we're using it just as a quick way to do a web page export. So I want you to do what I just did.